Do you ever have a moment in your life when you find out about something and you're just completely confused how more people don't know about it or how it isn't more widespread than it is? Well, that's what the Wim Hof method is to me. It's something that has completely changed my life, and I think it has a multitude of health benefits, both physical and mental. And it's rather confusing to me how it isn't more widespread and how more people don't know about it. So that's what I wanted to do in today's video. If you don't know about it, or maybe you've heard about it and haven't looked into it, I wanted to go into the reasons why I think it's something that I dare to say everybody can do, and maybe everybody should do. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, I wanted to get a little closer in here so I can lay down and, showcase the whole breathing method. So the method, it's comprised of two parts. The first one is the breathing technique. I want to talk a little bit about the mechanics of it firstly, which is there's a couple things around breathing that I find really interesting. One is that it is better to breathe through your nose than it is to breathe through your mouth. It's more natural to breathe through your mouth if you're talking a lot or if you're doing a strenuous activity, though. So you'll go back and forth. Your body can do both for a reason. You can get I think you can get faster air in through your mouth if you're like running or doing heavy exercise. But breathing through your nose, your body can, I believe your body gets more oxygen that way to your system because it passes through different blood vessels, and your nose actually, the path to your lungs from your nose actually warms up the air to the correct temperature. It makes it warmer before it gets in your lungs. That's why if you're ever running, sometimes your lungs can feel cold, or in the cold air if you're doing strenuous work, you feel that like chill inside your lungs. If you're breathing too much through your mouth, you feel that. And that's why also in the cold, if you're breathing through your nose gets really cold on the inside, because it's warming up, can't talk. It's warming up the air so that your lungs don't get cold from it. So breathing through your nose, and there's been more studies on it. I believe Andrew Huberman has a whole topic on breathing. I'm not going to get really far into that right now, but breathing through your nose has been shown to be a lot more healthy than breathing through your mouth. It can even change your jaw and your whole face shape. So it's pretty interesting to look into. So another thing about breathing that I find interesting is everybody knows that you can make yourself panic from fast, shallow breathing. If you breathe in and out really fast, you can make yourself panic. And people having panic attacks and such, or really stressful situations, that breathing slower and breathing deeper will calm you down. So the way I view it is, if we know breathing fast is harmful to you, and breathing fast can, it can cause ill effects to your body, then the reverse is probably true as well. Breathing slower and breathing deeper can probably really help your body. And oxygen therapy is a thing for people with different medical conditions where they'll give them higher concentrations of oxygen. Well, that would make my brain think then, if you breathe deeper and breathe more, that would get you more oxygen in your body. That would get you the same effects in a way. So even though you can't do it maybe all day long, even though you can't always be breathing very deeply and constantly thinking about breathing through your nose, you can do it intentionally for a small amount of time in a day. And that's what I think this breathing method is, where it's a small period of time that you can be intentional about what you're doing, and it can have physical benefits from the increased oxygen, and it has mental benefits too, of being able to slow your mind down, slow yourself down, and take conscious thought to your actions during the day, and not just be mindless. Because another fact of breathing, which I meant to mention earlier, but I'm mentioning it now, is that it's one of the only things, and it may be the only thing in your body, that you do unconsciously, but at any time you can switch over to doing manually. Yet, it always does it unconsciously, even when you're sleeping. You breathe automatically throughout the day, and you don't think about it, because your body needs it to survive. You need air. Yet, because it's so important, you can do it manually. If you couldn't switch over breathing manually, let's just say, well, if all of a sudden there was a bunch of dust in the air, or if you had water, if your head was submerged in a bowl of water, or you fell in the water, your body would keep breathing and you would drown just like that. You would just die. Because you get water in your lungs, you get air, you get particles and dust and, cement and whatever in your lungs, and it would kill you. So you can do it manually. You can choose to manually stop breathing. Or you can choose to manually take in a deep breath when you need to. When you're doing strenuous exercise, when you're doing, things like that, you can choose to breathe deeper. It's one of those fascinating things in life of, like many things, we can let life pass us automatically. We can just automatically go on by life and just not have a care in the world. But if we think about it, if we know about it, then we can be intentional with it. Then you can start breathing manually. Then you can start, breathing deeply and recognizing the benefits it can have on your life. And it's the same way, with many things in your life. We can easily get distracted by stuff. We can get distracted by things of the world and lose sight of God, lose sight of the truth, lose sight of our purpose. And it's one of those things that it's important to recognize that you can make choices in life and you're responsible for those choices. And the breathing is just one of those things I think helps me, and it can probably help you recognize that. So, without further ado, here's what the method is. It's 20 to 30 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Wim Hof defines it as breathing in a circle. So it's just a constant just a constant, breathe in all the way, breathe out all the way, in all the way, out all the way. And you get a rhythm going. And then on the last one of the breaths, you breathe out completely and hold it. And then it's fascinating how long you can hold your breath when you've expelled all the air from your lungs and you hold it like that. After doing many deep breaths like that, it's amazing how long you can hold it for. Generally, you try to go for 1 or 2, or if you've been doing it a while, even 3 minutes. I want to say his record's all the way up to it may even be 6 or 7 minutes. I don't know exactly. Maybe I can pop that up if I remember about it in editing. It's amazing how long you can hold your breath for when training this for a while. And if you're really experienced, you can even do it until you pass out. Which I wouldn't recommend doing, but if you've got your mind trained enough, you can hold your breath until you pass out, and then your body will automatically start breathing again. I don't know if that's healthy to do it that far, but after holding your breath for 2 or 3 minutes, or 1 or 2 minutes, or however long until you feel the need to breathe again, then you breathe in deeply, completely fill your lungs back up, and you hold that for another 20 seconds. An easy way to do this is actually, Wim Hof has a YouTube video, which is a whole guided method on it, which it goes through, 3 cycles of it, so one cycle is, if you do 30 breaths, breathe out and hold for 2 minutes, and then breathe in and hold that for 20 seconds. That's one cycle. And generally you want to try to do, maybe 2 or 3 cycles of this, when you do the method, which it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. If you just do one, that's fine too. If you don't make it through the entire cycle, that's okay. I think the most important part is the mental aspect. While I do think the increased oxygen has, physical benefits, I think the greatest benefit you can get from it is the mental part. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down, I'm going to go through the whole breathing method, I'm going to speed it up, but I'm going to use his guided method to help me along with it, because I still find it's easy to let your mind wander when you're doing it, and having his video, having the guide to it, it can be useful, just to, so it's important to focus when you're breathing and not let your mind wander. But sometimes, we're human, and our minds do wander. And I'm human, and my mind wanders. So, I'm going to go lay down, do this, speed it up, so you don't have to, listen to me breathe for, 10 minutes. But, then I'll be right back here. Also, I generally would say it's easiest to just lie down when you do it. You can do it when you're sitting up. I guess you could even do it when you're standing. But getting in the most comfortable position and lying down, I think, is the most efficient way to do it. So, just get yourself somewhere comfortable to, lie down, and then simply lie down. So another thing I wanted to talk about as a voiceover while I'm doing the breathing method is after doing so many deep breaths, you might feel a little bit of a tingling sensation in your body. You may feel the tips of your fingers or the edges of your lips or your toes. They might get a little bit tingly, and that's okay. It's a result of doing all the heavy deep breathing and expelling so much carbon dioxide from your system. Is it dioxide? Monoxide? Dioxide. Yeah. I did not graduate college. Expelling, so much of it from your system. Your body can feel a little bit of tingling sensation, and that's perfectly normal. The other thing I notice that I have to do sometimes is sometimes I feel like I need to swallow when I'm holding my breath, and that's okay to do. As long as you don't breathe in, and even if you get a minute amount of air in, it's not like you ruined it. Because again, I think most of the benefit is from the mental aspect. So, you do the breaths, you just try to stay calm throughout it, you focus on it. Again, following his video really helps a lot, but you can do it on your own too. And even feel free to modify the amount of breaths you do. If you feel better doing 50 breaths, you can do that. If you feel better just doing 20, do that as well. But the more breaths you do, it seems the longer you can hold no oxygen in your system for longer. And then after you're done, you can take a couple seconds, you can take a minute to just return to breathing normally, as he says in his video. So, I believe I'm almost done breathing here, and I'll get back to the video. Alright, so, I don't actually know if I'm going to speed that up or not. I said I was going to. I'll see if I will or not. But, that's one cycle of it. It doesn't take very long. You do the deep breaths, and like I said, following on his video, it really helps. And I noticed that after doing it, my brain can just feel calmer. I just feel slower. And I can feel more focused. And maybe it's the breathing, maybe it's the mental part of it. The actual recognizing that you can slow down. That actually just, clearing your mind and just stopping all the chaos and the confusion. Because I think that's a big issue. It's just, you can get overwhelmed with stuff, and especially social media nowadays and everything. It gets very overwhelming. And doing a breathing method like this, it makes it easy to just calm down. So, that's part one of it. Fire! I just thought it was a cool light candle, Plus, scene change, whatever, transition, woo! However, alright, so, I said it was comprised of two parts. The method is comprised of the breathing technique, and then a cold plunge, or a cold exposure. Most commonly, you can use an ice bath or a cold shower. You could, I guess, just expose yourself to the cold outside in the winter months, but the most reliable is a bath or a shower. Now, there's multiple benefits to cold exposure. I've only done cold showers, so that's what I'm going to use my experience from. There are health benefits to shocking yourself with the cold that relate to improving your immune system. It can help your skin. I've even heard it can help your hair health and just everything on the outside of your body. When you shock your body with cold water, it activates your immune system. It puts you in a sort of, I don't know if fight or flight mode is the right term. And again, I'm not a science, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a biologist, I think the right term is. Yeah, I don't even know what it's called, so that proves I'm not it. Yet, this is one of those things in life, just like the breathing, that I think you can test it for yourself. I think you can do it to yourself and see if it helps you, see if it affects you, see what benefits you get from it. But more than the immune response, and more than just, teaching your body to, when you get shocked by the cold, it rushes blood to everything and it triggers your immune system, which helps it then trigger more efficiently in the future when you get sick and when you get small, colds and flus. But I think the biggest benefit I find to it is the comfort zone. A cold shower, no matter who you are, is uncomfortable. Even though I enjoy them to a certain part, yeah, I guess I'm a maniac. They're still uncomfortable a lot of mornings. It's still uncomfortable, and I still want a warm shower most of the time. A lot of times I still want to get into that nice warm shower. And I still do take a warm shower before bed once in a while. But getting in a 5-minute or 10-minute cold shower, maybe even 2 or 3, if depending on if you're building your way up to it. You don't want to, you can't just dive right into insanity. You can build yourself up little by little. It gets you out of your comfort zone. So the way the comfort zone works is it's like a circle. It's just top of the candle here. And everything you're comfortable with is inside of the circle. When you do something uncomfortable, it's outside that circle, and it can cause it to expand a little bit. It gets you a little more comfortable with being uncomfortable, and it can expand your comfort zone. It's a way it can, there's another term of using reference experiences, of when you're trying to build your way up to something, you do little by little, And you can look back on that of, hey, okay, I can play guitar, I can play a song really good by myself. Well, now maybe since I'm so good at that one song, I can play it in front of my best friend. Well, now I played in front of him and it was okay, now I can play it in front of 2 or 3 friends. Maybe I can play it in front of a crowd of 10 to 15 people. Well, now maybe I can play it in front of a stage. Well, now maybe I can play it, in greater and greater groups. And it's using those little references to further yourself little by little. That's what I think the cold showers can really be used for, is getting your comfort zone expanded, getting yourself comfortable with being uncomfortable, and training your brain to realize I can make choices that I am uncomfortable with. Saying, yeah, I don't feel like making a cold shower, but I'm stronger than that cold shower. You might not feel like applying for that job or going to that interview, but you're stronger than that interview. You might have a hard time talking to that person, but you're stronger than that. You're stronger than that voice inside of you telling you no. You're more powerful than that. You don't have to submit to your fears and submit to your worries. You can go beyond that. And more than just the immune system benefits of a cold shower, I find the mental benefits to be the best part. So, this candle smells really good. Vanilla Rose. It's not even Valentine's Day yet, but they had Valentine's Day stuff on clearance, and I like my candles, so it smells really good. You should buy one. Alright, back on the couch. So, I hope this video was able to give you some information. I hope it was able to inspire you and to guide you on how to perform it, and when you can maybe use it in your own life. Again, it's not a miracle drug, but it's definitely something that I have noticed has improved my life, and it probably could improve yours too. So, the biggest takeaway from this, though, is realizing that life is a gift. Breathing is a gift, and it should be treated as such. Like many things in life, we can let them just pass by. We can just breathe automatically and not think about it. Or we can stop for a moment and intentionally take a breath. And just appreciate it. And be grateful to God for the fact that He's let us breathe another day. Because that's what it comes down to. Is that life is a gift. And we need to thank God every day for it. We need to be grateful for every experience Jesus gives us. And not just take it for granted. Not let it pass by and be unappreciated. And just feel like we deserve it. So, that's all I have for you today. And Lord willing, I'll see you all later.